Firstly, congratulations to Sundowns. I think they continue to show why they're such a respected team, not only in South Africa but on the continent. So we wish them well for the final. I thought they really started well the first 10-15 minutes. Played with a lot of energy, a lot of movement. We were a little bit sort of stuck between, how much we press them and try and take away a little bit of them controlling the game totally. But they were able to find sort of spaces with our out wide and then out wide on the left. And they broke our lines quite comfortably and put us a little bit under sort of pressure. But then I felt sort of, once we sort of figured that out, we slowly got ourselves back in the game. When you play a team that's playing on continental football, you learn certain lessons. Today, obviously, with Fawaz injured, they continued to play, and obviously the ball was worked to our right-hand side where Fawaz wasn't in position, and then they took the lead and they took the goal. So, it was a harsh lesson to learn, but they probably deserved to go into the break leading. I don't think we played a bad first half. I thought we were decent enough. We had our half chances and created some opportunities. And then second half, I thought we came out with a lot more sort of spirit, a lot more aggression, a lot more intensity in our play, and we sort of got a bit of confidence and worked ourselves sort of into a position where we started asking them questions and putting them on the back foot. When they got the second goal, it was a little bit, I felt, against when we were in a really good space. And then when they missed the penalty, obviously 3-0 would have been game over, but at 2-0 you always have a chance. So we continued to press and play with a real determination to try and get ourselves back in the game. We got the goal, and then obviously I think we just left it too late. We scored maybe with 5-10 minutes earlier, then they could have had a bit of problems, I feel, in the last while of the game. So very proud of the team today. Again, I think it's a benchmark. We want to be playing on the continent ourselves. We've still got work to be done in the league to get that. So it was a good gauge to see where we are as a football club against a team like Sundowns, with the type of crowd, the atmosphere that was here, against a really quality team. And I believe that I can confidently say I think we're on the right track, that if we can take Sundowns the way we did today and then push them all the way, I do believe that it was a good sign for us. Not meant to be today. We gave a valiant effort, but just not enough in the end.
Coach, a question from the floor. Mark.
Steve, do you think Sundowns can finish the league unbeaten, or is there something that you see in the team?
I know we've got to try and break that one. It'll be a tough place for them to come back to. But in saying that, one can see that they just sort of know how to manage situations, how to manage games, and then obviously with the individual quality that they have, it'll be difficult to see them maybe not or remaining unbeaten. I think they're capable of doing it. I think, we will be needing points. I'm quite sure second last game of the season. So we have to learn from some of the lessons of today. We have to make sure that when we do play them again, certain situations we deal with a bit better. And maybe really start the game on the front foot and try sort of not wait until you've got nothing to lose. They have that possibility of going unbeaten.
Coach, you obviously play against a sort of a top 4 team in Africa in terms of just what they demand of you physically and the tempo as well. Where does it leave you? Would you say you want to go into Africa Champions League or possibly Confed Cup as well?
I think obviously I think Champions League is first prize. Obviously finishing second on the log is both from a financial point of view and playing in the Champions League is definitely our aim. But as you can see, a lot of teams are hit good form at the right time. Pirates are playing really well. I believe even though we lost today, we're playing well. So it'll go all the way down to the wire. But we would like to test ourselves and play Champions League. And I just saw today that there is a gap. There's still a gap between them and ourselves. So it's good to see that, because at least now we've got a measure and a target that we have to close that gap as quickly as possible.
Coach, you said there's a gap. What do you think
terms of player talent, or is it in terms of just getting the players to that sort of ceiling before that they can break through to match the likes of Mamelodi Sundowns?
Look, I think it's talent also. Obviously, you know, the talent that they have throughout the squad is really massive. The mentality, obviously, having played on the continent for a number of years now, the mentality that they have, you know, we're young in that sort of regard, so that's an area that we'd have to improve. And then obviously, you know, they have the ability to as you could see midweek, you know, rest some players to continue, you know, and still be able to produce results. So it's something that, you know, with more games, I think we've played in every single game that the league has offered except the MTN final up until now. You know, it's close to over 36, 37 games now as a club, and but you can see that, you know, we need to have the depth to be able to refresh at the right times and so on. So I think those are some of the things that are just ahead of not only us but most teams.
And as conversations already begun with CEO Rob for sort of continuing?
Yeah, no, those chats have been had, and you know, we need to strategize and be smart how we approach going forward.
Coach, the choice of Oscarini over Sage's stadiums, is that a technical decision that you had to make based on Sundowns, or it was just rotating the keepers?
Yeah, look, I think you know, a lot of people sometimes rest outfield players so they can refresh physically and mentally. So we've got a big challenge ahead in our last league games, and I had a good chat with Sage. Oscarine had played in the previous Nedbank fixtures, so one of the reasons is for Sage, you know, from a refreshment mentally and physically point of view, he needs to carry us through in the league. 4 big massive games already on Wednesday. We play here against Masuluke. So sometimes keepers also need you know, to have that break, and hopefully that keeps them sharp and fresh for the next 4 league games.
Are you a little bit worried that end of the 25 everything's a little bit deflated for Wednesday, and obviously a really tricky opponent?
Yeah, it's always a tough one, Mark. You know, when an unbeaten record like that gets sort of broken and you lose semi-final after expending so much energy, you know, and that. So I think it's a test again for us how we react to it. You know, we still have to be positive. I've told the players, you know, regardless of how today goes, the next 4 league game, we've had a really good season to possibly finish in those top 3 positions, as well as already won a cup, made 2 semi-finals. And you know, I don't think we need to put pressure and, you know, be like deflated because of one loss against a really good team. I think it's important to realize that we are very competitive. We showed today that what we can do and capable of doing. So I think we need to be positive. We need to come back to work tomorrow and know that we gave it our best. It wasn't to be, but there's also a lot to play for still.
Coach, maybe on that, are you encouraged by the reactions of the players? Because I mean, normally against a team like Sundowns, it's easy to see a team drop their heads when they go 2-0 down with a penalty, and even disappointed to lose at the end, the way they reacted. Yeah,
I thought it was a good reaction. I think you know, it was clear for everybody to see that. You know, obviously with a national coach in the building also, I think, you know, the players wanted to show that in position to position, there's players in the national team. So I do believe, you know, some players gained a lot of credit today. But the mentality of the team was good. You know, they came off disappointed, but I do believe they came off knowing that, you know, with the right sort of end of season, the right sort of pre-season, the right strategy going into the next season, you know, there's a lot of special things that we can continue to do.
Take the last 2 questions.
Coach, how much, you know, do you feel you're punching above your weight? You know, you're holding your own against Sundowns. You know, if you just look the players that they bought in January, you know, a Lodge comes on and scores an important goal, and you're challenging Pirates for second in the league. You know, how much, you know, where's all that coming from Stellenbosch? You know, no one expected it in the beginning of the season that you will be up there.
Yeah, I do think we are, definitely. I mean, if you just look at, you know, the squads that both Pirates and Sundowns have. Obviously, we started the season and we got on the back foot in terms of loss of some, you know, key players. I think it took us 6-7 games to find our feet. If you you go back and look at the log table from around about our last loss was against Sundowns in the 8th game of the league. I think if you take the league from there on, we're right up there boxing and matching the results of any team. So I'm just, we need to be able to start a season with a squad that is settled and comes from the season. So obviously my wishes is that we retain the squad that we have, because I do believe that if we can and do so, and we can start the season with a squad, again I believe that we can be in those top positions. But one has to be wary. Clubs have really good seasons, really special seasons. It's important that we don't become complacent, because sometimes after such special seasons, the following season can be challenging. But I do believe the key is the quality of the players that we have is one of the reasons we are where we are, and it's important for us to retain that.
Coach, just on the resurgence of Aura, what do you think is taking him so long just to hit his stride and show us really what he's all about?
Yeah, I think you can ask most coaches in the country, even Sundowns themselves. It takes foreign players a minimum of 6 months, sometimes even longer, to really find their feet. Obviously, he's also French speaking. He does understand English, but that first part of the season, it's a different culture, it's a different lifestyle, it's a different style of football that's played. He's come now and he's picked up sort of lean body mass. He's really strong and powerful. And sometimes players, right in the beginning, they're not always embraced as once they start showing their worth to the team and the value which he has shown, he's grown on to the team as a teammate. So yeah, sometimes it just takes 6 months for people to show and settle. And now and then, you can hit the ground running, like a Rivera, for example. Didn't take him long to sort of take the league by storm, but yeah, I think in his case it was just adaptation, and now we can see what he's capable of doing.